guys, let's introduce Christina Moffatt with Creme Cupcakes, and she also is part of the Des Moines Partnership. So I asked Christina to come on because we actually had the pleasure of filming Christina for her speaker reel that we just made not too long ago. And I thought, why not invite Christina Moffatt to kind of talk about everything, cupcakes, cookies, partnerships, all of that. Like, Christina is definitely a jack of all trades.
Try to be. Yeah.
So I met Christina last year at an SBA thing. We were both there, and Christina got up to tell her story. If you guys haven't heard her story, it's really phenomenal actually, you can kind of go to her website and watch the video that we made, because she does talk about that. And I was like, damn, her story sounds very similar to mine. So we actually talked and hit it off. And a few months later, she reached out and said, hey, I need a speaker reel, and I don't know if you can help me. And I was like, oh yeah, we can totally do that. we just happened to fall into that niche. And then the podcast came along, and Christina's had some amazing opportunities, I wouldn't say fall into your lap. They just kind of took over.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had a lot happen since we did that speaker reel. And yeah, I mean, even I think we were finishing the speaker reel right before the pandemic hit.
Literally, yeah. I think we filmed one of the last few classes that was at ISU before they broke for spring break.
Wednesday. And then Friday the world flipped upside down.
Yeah, slowly, bit by bit. So
crazy.
So if somebody does not know Christina Moffatt, kind of give me the Cliff Note version of who you are, where you came from, and how you got here.
Yeah, so I grew up in Ankeny, went to Iowa State, go to college, get a good job. Everybody's parents say that to you. And post-college, just really hated corporate. I don't know. It just wasn't my thing. I was excelling very quickly. I mean, I had been promoted multiple times in the company, but I missed working with food. And I fell into baking desserts and taking them into the office during a recession. And little did I know, it was a great time to start a business, and people began to buy it. So fast forward, we're actually 10 years old. I filed for my LLC in 2010. So we turned 10 officially this year. We have expanded to a brick and mortar location 8 years ago on Ingersoll. We grew from a one-man band basically to a team of 20 pre-COVID.
Okay. And where are you guys at now?
We're at, we've dropped back down. We're at 6 right now.
But you're about ready to ramp back up, aren't you?
We are.
Which we will get to that very, very soon.
Yeah, we'll get to that part of the story. But yeah, the model was unique because we put a full liquor license in a bakery.
Yeah.
And everybody thought we were just nuts to do that. But it was our own niche. I think we've seen a lot of cupcake shops pop up, and
that's all they are. It's just what's the difference between one cupcake shop to the next?
Right. And for me, it was like, well, if you're having a bad day, you either want sugar or liquor. So why not just put them in the same spot?
Yeah. Why not have both, right?
Right.
Get white girl wasted on chocolate.
So we launched into like a full dessert lounge concept, and in the process just became very, very passionate about helping people in business. I had so many mentors help me along the way. And so I've been fortunate enough to do that for the last 5 years. I've been helping businesses get off the ground or expand them while they're growing.
But you were part of the SBDC before you went to the partnership, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
So you've been doing that even longer than the 5 years, or is that
is with the 5 years?
Okay.
So 2015, I kind of took a little bit of a pivot because I had a general manager in place at the shop, and my son was 2 by then. And I was kind of debating, do I go back in and take the general manager's spot, which isn't really fair with somebody who's worked so hard to help you build your company, or do I set course to help others be successful like I had been? And that's really what I chose to do. And the SBDC tapped me and said, hey, will you come over here and help lead this office? So we took that office from 202 clients to 557 in 2 years.
And I think it's still going.
It is.
Yeah, because Jenica has your previous job.
She does.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. She helped me write my business plan like a year and a half later.
Yeah, she's great.
We were already up and running.
When you have to ask for money, you got to have a plan.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Yeah, so you left SBDC and went to the Greater Des Moines Partnership.
I did.
And what do you specifically do for them?
So the Greater Des Moines Partnership has 6,400 members and about 90% are small business. So my job really there is I don't necessarily focus on getting people up and running anymore. Right now I focus on keeping them in business. Okay. So about a year in, it's like the excitement's worn off. Yeah. And you're wondering like, what do I do next? And that's really where I focus. So I put together the curriculum to help them kind of learn, kind of focus on the guts of your business. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, you and I both, I have a bakery, you have a media company, video, it's all the same thing. We have accounting, we have HR, we have people, a lot of the things are the same, banking, attorneys, all that stuff. We need business, all of that marketing, it's the same. So we really try to focus on kind of those guts or core of your business and how you can expand those no matter what industry you're in.
So the Greater Des Moines Partnership basically is the main brain of all of the Chamber of Commerce's here.
That's correct. Yeah, we kind of serve as that kind of second layer to them. So a lot of the chambers are just a very small staff and they're very wide at their knowledge. And I kind of focus in as that silo that can really help their small businesses. So when the business comes to the chamber and says, I need help, they usually are referred on to me and I do a lot of one-on-one work or get them into one of the correct classes or off to another great resource like the SBDC, just depending on what their needs are.
Right. So your primary focus is to help them stay busy and in business.
Yeah, in business is my goal. So there's a high burnout period after a lot of businesses don't make it through year one.
Correct.
Year 5 is extremely pivotal. Pivotal. There we go. Because their leases are up. So a lot of businesses sign a 5-year lease. Right. So when they hit that 5-year term, it's like, well, do I re-sign? Do I really want to continue to do this? So if we can get them past that 5-year point, and a lot of times when you re-up your lease, you can do shorter term. And usually it's anywhere from 2 to 3 years. So we want to get them past that 8-year term. And usually if they've been in business 10 years, I mean, hey, like I feel like I've made it because I've been around 10 years. Yeah, it only took 10 years to feel like I've made it.
Really? You're like the OGs now.
I guess, yeah.
Okay. Well, I know in a financial standpoint, like for a business to truly profit, they need to start making profit by year 3.
Yep.
Right? Like that's a main like staple, right? That's like the first check mark in like making it in business. And then year 5, it's do you stay in business, close your lease or move on or even just shut your business? Right?
Hands down, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. And then 10 is 10, I'm on cruise control now.
Yep. I mean, yes and no, unless a pandemic hits you.
Yeah, but Christina pivoted during the pandemic. So
yeah. I feel like I'm almost starting over again. But yeah, it's been and I guess one thing I learned is everybody said recessions kind of come in 10-year waves. And I guess I didn't believe them because I hadn't been around long enough. Yeah. But here I am, year 10.
Do you think you're in a recession or you're just in another pivot point?
I think a recession is coming post-pandemic just because we've seen everything, the closures and things like that. Yeah. But I think we're in a good spot because we have pivoted. So
where do you see from the standpoint as the president, because you're the president, correct? That's your official title of the Greater Des Moines Partnership.
I'm the director of Small Business Resources.
As the director of Small Business Resources. Yep. Where do you see things in the next 6 months?
So the scary thing is I just sat through, and again, this is not me saying this is information I gained this week, is that a lot of businesses feel like they're going to run out of cash by the end of the year. And we've already seen that. We've seen businesses close. So I feel like if we do not get a second round of the PPP funding through for a lot of those, restaurants are really running at 30% capacity. You can't sustain that. No. So I worry in the next 6 months that if we don't get another round of funding through, that we're going to see more closures happen. I worry about the second layer. So if you're not like a Main Street front door, what are all those services that we use at the bakery? So our food service, right? So we don't order as many groceries. So those people, graphic design, we haven't really had to run as many ads because we haven't been bringing in as much income. Correct. So those second layer businesses, I kind of think that it will start to impact them if it hasn't. Because if you're under contract for a year and the contract is running out, will they re-up the same amount? Will they lessen? I can't really tell you, but I think that we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Yeah. I think funding is crucial.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Congress gets their shit together soon.
Yeah. They have said they're working on it. So
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see.
And the
So-
forgiveness process of the first round of PPP
Right.
needs to just be done.
Yeah. Well, I think they've both agreed. The one thing that I know that they have completely agreed, because Zach at First National is my banker, and we've talked about this, because we, like many other small businesses in Iowa, received a PPP. And, the good thing is that the Democrats and the Republicans have at least agreed that 150,000 and under, it's automatically forgivable.
Yep, they're working on that. They just need to sign the dang thing.
Yeah. Because I'm like, Zach, my payment's coming up, homie. He's like, oh, no, we got you. So I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I pushed hard on that. We were on a call with DC trying to get that answered because a lot of people are worried about the second round coming, that they don't want to sign another loan until they 100% know the first one's been forgiven.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm in that same boat.
I think any small business right now is in that position or very close to being in that position.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
it's crazy.
It's been wild.
So let's talk about the pandemic and what happened at Creme. So you guys you took a massive pivot, massive shift. I know for a fact, because Christina and I were just trying to figure out like some really insane, crazy marketing ideas, how to get stuff out there, was you were just pulling double duty. You would spend all day at Creme and then your evenings working with the partnership.
Yep. A lot of the business owners had to go back kind of into the front lines, right? Running the register and all that. And I was not immune to that. And luckily the partnership, what they did is they allowed us to work from home. And basically, I have a son too. So with schooling and childcare not available, they basically just said, you got to work when you can work. And so they were very flexible with that. So I did. I literally was front lines. We had to, when March 17th hit, we had to close our lounge because there was no on-premise service. So
for 2 months.
Yeah. And that's still closed because with social distancing in place, I can hold 4 tables. So I can't cash flow an entire evening off of 4 tables. Right. So we've left that closed. We lost the majority of our wholesale accounts because, again, the restaurants weren't at capacity.
Right.
Really couldn't afford to bring on extra desserts if they're not really serving as much as they were.
Yeah.
And then our events all went down. So we had about 24 weeks of canceled events. So nonprofit galas, weddings, graduations were hit hard, all of that stuff. And so we really were relying on that walk-in bakery clientele for a while until I said, okay, well, we're going to look at these revenue buckets that we have and we're going to figure out a new way to do it.
Yeah.
And so events took on, we partnered with Community Choice Credit Union and delivered Easter eggs to people's homes because that was a new way to do events. If we're not having weddings, then we got to look at how people are doing them. Well, we can take Easter eggs to 125 houses.
Were they physical eggs or were they cupcakes?
No, they were like plastic eggs filled with stuff. And we ran, it was kind of cold and rainy and we were just running through people's yard, like throwing eggs in the air. I was like, please don't let anybody call the police on us because that's the last thing we need right now. It's no, we're not vandalizing. We're just like throwing eggs out there.
The old egging, remember that?
I know. They were plastic, but man, that's what it felt like. And another event we did is that worked really well, honestly, is that we used to do in-store decorating classes. Oh, yeah. And we could only hold 8 people at our bar. Right. Well, we took them virtual and it
sold out.
It doesn't matter. Like we did 64 kits for Harry Potter. Yeah. And that's insane. We could never hold 64 decorating kits in the shop. So that worked really well. So it's something we'll kind of went down in the summer because people are just out and about. So we kind of put a hold on those. But we really were pivoting as quick as we could. I mean, May 4th, we did COVID May Day baskets. We did Father's Day, we partnered with local businesses. Mother's Day, we partnered with local businesses. We did everything we could to replace that income. Yeah.
So have you seen an uptick in business since everything's back up and running? And it's not real normal, but it's a lot better than what it was back in May?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that a lot of people would be surprised for me to say this, but our business is still down 60%. And that impact is yes, it's huge, but we pivoted everything inside that we could too, right? We cut back on all our spending. We shrunk down our staff. And so it's still down. I think it's going to come back up. I think people just kind of went on hold through the summer. I felt like the summer was almost worse than the spring when it initially hit, and people are shocked when I say that. But
no, I believe that because Des Moines people travel. Mm-hmm. People travel for spring break. People travel for the summer vacation, and they also travel for Christmas.
Yeah. I feel like people were outdoors more. They explored Iowa. You know, they went hiking around here or stayed more at their lake homes, which they might not have done, which I think it's great.
Because they can work from remotely.
Yeah, we really felt the dip during summer, which is a little bit normal for us, but not to the extent of what it was. And then if you think about, we're so close to downtown, we didn't have all the events come in. We didn't have the arts festival where we get people coming in. We didn't have 8035 and the fair and all those other big events that come in the summer. We didn't have those for customers to be coming in, but we're on the ramp back up.
So the 60% that you had, you would say that's basically traffic from events.
I would say the 60%, number one, a huge chunk of that is from the night lounge, just because I still can't get that open. Okay. So that's a big chunk of what we've lost, and that will continue. I just can't get that to cash flow. No matter what model I look at, we'll end up upside down. And then wholesale for us is still down because the restaurants they're just not producing like they were. And then events, we're having weddings and stuff, but the size of them is so much smaller.
Yeah, they're at like 40 to 50% if they're lucky.
Mm-hmm. So there's still that, all those things combined is what's feeding into that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just a good combination at the time.
Yeah, so we had to really think hard of how we're going to pull ourselves out of that.
So speaking of pulling yourself out and your wholesale accounts, let's kind of talk about like your new deal here locally.
Yeah, so this will be some of the first people to hear, but so we were actually picked up by Hy-Vee.
Right, that's amazing.
And it's huge for us. And we designed an exclusive cookie line for them. So we were approached, kind of a funny story. We were actually approached thinking we were going to be partnering with 3 Hy-Vees.
Right.
And ended up getting awarded all the Metro Hy-Vees.
Nice. So that's like, what, 17, 18 Hy-Vees?
It should be around 18 Hy-Vees.
Okay.
So we developed this new stuffed cookie line. It's amazing.
How many cookies?
Right now we're going to launch it. They come in a 6-pack, a 4-pack, or a single.
Okay.
And they're launching in October. So we have not been assigned what stores we're going to end up with, but we're supposed to be in all Metro stores by November 1st.
Okay.
But the October cookie is a stuffed pumpkin spice cookie.
Okay. All you basic ass people that like pumpkin spice, you can have your pumpkin spice latte and your pumpkin spice cookie all at the same time and go into that sugar coma.
It is totally worth it. Totally worth it.
Pumpkin spice.
Pumpkin spice. And then we've been told they're going to introduce us into the Fast and Fresh gas stations pretty soon too, as a single cookie that you can grab and go.
Yeah. You'd be surprised at the amount of money people spend at gas stations every day.
It's my weakness, man. I feel like when you're going into a gas station, right, you're in a hurry. So you don't need like second chance it. You just pick up whatever, whether it's good for you or not.
Yeah.
And I walked into a gas station the other day and mistake taking my 7-year-old who wants everything.
Yeah.
The freaking candy bar is like $2 now. I about died. So our cookies are $3.50 and they're 5 inches. So I think it's well worth the spend, and it's local.
And so how thick are they going to be?
They're pretty thick. I mean, they're stuffed in the middle. So I mean, I'd say, thicker than your average cookie, probably 2 cookies together, because what we do is we actually make them, stuff them. So it's almost like 2 cookies sealed together with the filling in the middle.
So eat half the cookie now, eat the rest later.
No, eat the whole thing and then eat another one.
Okay, good. Are you going to do 2 for $1?
We're introducing a new monthly flavor, so you're going to love them so much you got to come check the next one out.
So every month there's something new.
Yep.
And then, so when we go into the new month, the previous month's cookies, they'll
retire. Yep.
And then you just bring them back seasonally?
We'll bring them back seasonally. We are going to eventually have kind of some of your standard favorites that you'd see that we're working on stuffing. So those will be probably introduced in the winter when people are wearing their sweatpants and want to eat more than one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's our plan, is to have a seasonal flavor, and then we'll eventually have some standards too.
Nice. So Will they be at Creme as well, or are they just strictly at Hy-Vee?
Strictly at Hy-Vee for now. Because we designed these specifically for them, we're trying to push them out through the stores. And honestly, like, our store hours are pretty limited, so we're going to try to, we want to respect our customers. It's almost like 2 divisions now. Like, we'll have almost like a cookie division that runs on a whole separate time frame of baking versus our morning staff that does all our regular bakery
So
items.
you're going to change the name?
I know, I almost feel like it should be Creme Cookie. Yeah, I mean, that's part of the reason we put it's Creme, Cupcake, and dessert, because we kept adding things. So who knows?
Yeah. So cookies will officially, the cookies are out now, but they're only in select stores currently.
Correct. Yep. And we're kind of getting assigned those by a weekly basis, so I can't even really give you the rundown of where they're at. I know Fleur Hy-Vee will have them the longest, because we're going to do the launch party out of that store. Okay.
So the launch party out at, when's that supposed to be?
We did our launch party on October 1st at Fleur, so I know that they'll have them at the Fleur store. They hands down will have them. But other than that, we're getting assigned new stores weekly. So I'd check with your Hy-Vee, and if you want to call and demand them, we'll get them there faster.
Yeah, for sure. So Fleur is the first store because there's some sort of symbolic
thing. We launched at Fleur because I lived by the Fleur store when I launched Creme, and that is where I actually used to shop for my ingredients. So it was very exciting to be able to launch out of that store. I feel like it's been part of my journey ever since I launched Creme. And honestly, I know the people there. There's people that still work there from when I started Creme. That when I brought the samples in the store, like the ones that I knew saw me carrying in the samples, and they were just like freaking out that they were getting them because they followed my journey from when I used to come in and throw like all my butter up on the belt.
Yeah. So all you people that live by Fleur 10 years ago, that was Christina that cleaned out the butter, the sugar, the flour shelves.
Yeah, and it wasn't because of pandemic. It was because I was trying to like make a business happen.
Inside of your own kitchen.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go, guys. There's the reason why. So you can track her down now. Remember that time I was trying to buy butter, lady? So everything started in Fleur, and then Fleur will always have your cookies no matter what.
Yep. They'll be kind of our home-based store.
And then what's next? What's next on the horizon for you?
You know, for us, I mean, this Hy-Vee thing has been exciting for us because honestly, looking down the pipe, until social distancing goes away, I don't know how we were going to run that through the winter without the lounge. That's our main source of income. Yeah. The wedding season goes down, and so normally the lounge replaces that, and we just really couldn't come up with a backup plan. I mean, there's not going to be the holiday parties like there normally is. All the galas that we provide to are still not happening. They're all virtual. And so Hy-Vee was really a saving grace for us to have this come through. So we're going to be cranking on them for a while, doing our standard orders, trying to figure out the kitchen a little bit. You know, it's been a little bit crazy trying to figure out every week we're adding more cookies and how that works. So adding in almost a second shift, which is great because people need jobs right now, especially people out in the food scene. So we've been able to add to our team. And that's really our plan, is to figure out this rhythm with Hy-Vee rolling into the new year.
And Hy-Vee reached out to you, correct?
They did, yeah. They
just called you up out of the blue.
So I had a contact that knew kind of what was happening, right? I've been very, very honest. I'm not ashamed. I mean, it's a pandemic that brought us to our knees. It's nothing I could have. We had a great rhythm going.
Yeah, it brought a lot of people to their knees.
Yeah, and she said, "Hey, my boyfriend works in corporate, and he would love to talk to you about small business, and they've been trying to figure out kind of a higher end product." Yeah, and sure enough, it was literally one phone call, and they emailed me, and I thought we were launching just with the 3 stores, and little did I know, when they came and met with me, the one guy from corporate was messaging the guy that oversees all the bakeries. And so then he called me and said, "Oh, no, this is like for all the Metro stores."
Holy crap.
And then in the second call, he said, "Okay, besides the Metro stores, we want to get them in the gas station." So it was just like every time I talked to them, I felt like, you know, it was just like raining down.
Yeah.
Which is great. I will take it.
Yeah. what are you going to do if they say, hey, we want to take this into other states?
Oh my gosh. I luckily have talked to Thelma's Cookies is awesome. They launched out of the same kitchen as me. So the first call that I had to anybody once I knew that we were going to do this with Ivy was Derek.
Yeah.
His mom. I'm like, hey, so now we're into cookies too, not with ice cream in them, but talk to me about how we do this. So they're great because they've gone into other states. So he's been great about kind of helping me, and they were able to sustain out of a smaller kitchen for quite a while before they went into their plant. But hey, that'd be great.
Yeah. So
I'm okay with cookies.
So just having that resource and just kind of walking through everything.
Yeah, I'm okay going into other states.
Yeah. I mean, Hy-Vee they're like in eight or 9 states right now, I think.
Yeah.
So they're basically like, they want to be the Walmart of the Midwest.
I think they're great too. They I was really surprised at how focused they are on getting small business in there. And what they told me is like, hey, we realize they've been shut down and we're not shut down. So we're trying to figure out this relationship with more small businesses and how we get them into the stores. Yeah,
for sure. I think that's been part of their plan here the last few months, is just how to reach back out to small business America and re-stimulate the economy.
Well, it's been good for us too, because our normal hours, we were open later at night, and I just can't do that now. But now if I have an option for people to go into Hy-Vee and get those when they are open, that helps me a lot too.
Yeah, a second shift. So how many people do you think you're going to be hiring if you go into a second shift?
So right now we're looking at bringing on 3 more people to produce these. Potentially, depending on how they do in all the stores, because the size of the stores varies so much. I've been shocked. I guess Fleur is considered an average store, but like when you look at Ankeny and Waukee, like the fastest growing areas in the state, they're huge.
They're massive.
Yeah. So we're going to start with adding 3, and then we'll see from there how many more we need to add.
I think I heard, because my girlfriend's family, or my girlfriend's sister lives in Grimes, that they're putting in 3 Hy-Vees in Grimes.
They are putting in 3 Hy-Vees. And then we found that out literally, I think 2 days after we had the conversation with them.
Yeah.
Because they said, all area Metro Hy-Vees. And then sure enough, they announced like 2 days later, here's 3 more coming.
3 more. Yeah.
And the gas stations just keep coming on like crazy too.
Well, they just bought 4 Quick Trips during the pandemic, and we were like, whoa.
And they're great. I don't know if you've been in them. They're because I don't really have I live in Beaverdale, and I don't really have, I have Price Chopper near me, but I don't really have like a big grocery store. But I have that Fast and Fresh, and it's great because I can run down there. They have a handful of groceries that you need, and now they're going to have the cookies that people want, and we're good.
Right there on Merle Hay?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, Abby and I used to visit that Starbucks quite frequently during the pandemic because they were like one of the only ones open.
Yep.
Yeah. Then we pretty much said, F it, we're buying an espresso machine. So Starbucks, you're not going to hold us captive. So, okay. So great. So Creme cookies, and then you got your cupcakes.
Yep.
Right? So what is the best way for somebody to get in touch with you if they're interested in, you not only do cupcakes, but you do cakes as well?
Yeah, we do custom cakes as well. We pare back our menu to basically be the cupcakes, cakes. We've partnered with One Sweet Kitchen for cookies, and then we carry Cha-Cha's Confectionaries cheesecakes.
Nice.
So we do offer a couple other things. We have some pop-up desserts too that we try to feature, but we kind of went back to the staples, and then we'll have the cookies available at Hy-Vee's.
Okay. So what's the best way for if I'm looking for any of that, or just try to put an order in?
Yeah, so you can order online. That's the best way to get us because our hours are shorter now than what they used to be. You can also just shoot us a message at info@Creme Cupcake, and we'll get back to you. Get your order figured out for you and in the shoot.
Excellent. Excellent. And if anybody ever needs to see Christina, I know she always works Saturdays.
I'm usually always down there Saturdays, and if I'm not at the counter, I'm out running around setting up a wedding right now because I got to be front lines. So.
Yeah. Christina is always there on Saturdays, and you've done this since the beginning, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been, I was able to pull back a little bit when my son was younger, but definitely the pandemic been down there way more than I was. But it's so great to the reason we have survived this is because we have such great customers. Honestly, we have great customers, and our Creme crew is, they said we want to keep working, keep us busy. We'll do whatever, deliver Easter eggs, keep us busy.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the community rally behind you as well.
Yeah,
So
the community's been great. I feel very fortunate to be in Des Moines right now going through this because I have friends throughout the U.S. and a handful that own small businesses, and it is not the same. Absolutely not the same.
for sure.
We're very lucky.
Yeah, but you'll keep on ticking. So
We will.
yeah, you'll find a way. Christina Moffatt always finds a way.
I do.
So if I'm a business and I need either help or I need to kind of run some things by you, what's the best way to get in touch with you at the partnership?
Yeah, if you want to talk to me about partnership and business, just reach out to me at C Moffatt. So C, M as in man, O as in octopus, F as in Frank, A as in apple, T as in Tom, at dsmpartnership.com.
We'll also put that underneath so you guys can see that as well. We'll just flash it, like it's an infomercial.
Yeah, reach out to me. We've got a great conference coming up on November 5th and 6th, the Small Business Success Summit. It's all going to be virtual, so you can register clear up until the night before.
Okay. And how much is that?
$35.
That's cheap, guys. That's
2
really
days.
cheap. 2 days.
Yeah, 2 half days, so you can get your work tucked in there or try to homeschool your kids, however that's going.
Okay.
But it's all recorded too, so if you can't join us on those 2 days, you get the links too.
And then what does the summit do?
So the summit highlights, this year is really, really focused on impacts from a pandemic. So pivoting, leadership. I've seen people have to make really hard decisions. You know that as a business leader.
Oh, yeah.
Your mind has been on overload of trying to do the right thing. So the summit is really focused on that. We have 3 keynotes speaking. We have Mary Kelly, Michael Vitelli, and then we have Google closing out for us. And then in between those, you can choose breakout sessions to go to, depending on what you're facing.
Got it. Okay, so head to the Des Moines Partnership website if you want to sign up for the summit.
Yep.
And then if you need to find Christina, you can also find her on the website as well, right?
Yep, that's correct.
So, and then Creme's website is
www.cremecupcake.com.
There you go. So, Christina, thanks for coming by. We appreciate all the time that you gave, and I'm sure my staff and I will probably end up buying your cookies because we'll be on that sugar rush looking for something. So
it'll keep you going. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, we appreciate your time. Thanks for coming.
Thanks.